Hi everyone and welcome. I'm going to tell you the difference between endothermic and exothermic reactions. We're going to take what you've learned in previous grades on heat and temperature and apply it to this unit in grade 9 science on matter and chemical change. Specifically, we'll look at endothermic and exothermic reactions. Knowing this will set you up for success in future science classes and give you the encouragement to think about how heat is related to energy transfer in almost every aspect of your life. By learning how energy is transferred in a chemical reaction, we can use science to work for us and make our lives more enjoyable. Have you ever wondered about the science behind cooking an egg? Or why does a candle give off heat? This all relates back to them being either an endothermic or exothermic reaction. By the end of this video, I want you to come up with your own example of an endothermic or exothermic reaction and be prepared to share it with the class. Now, let's look at the difference between these reactions. So, an endothermic reaction absorbs heat from its surroundings, whereas an exothermic reaction releases heat to the surroundings. So, think endo for in and exo for out. Some examples of endothermic reactions. Remember, heat is being absorbed from the surroundings. This can be photosynthesis, an ice cube melting, or cooking an egg. See, when you cook an egg, it draws in heat given off the stove. It absorbs heat from the surroundings. This causes the proteins to break apart, creating the white color that we see. If we look at a graph of an endothermic reaction, we can see that the energy changes as the reaction proceeds. For an endothermic reaction, remember, endo means in, we can see that the reaction needs to absorb energy in order to form its products. Here we see the energy of the products is more than the energy of the reactants. Therefore, it needs to absorb energy in order to proceed. Exothermic reactions give off heat to their surroundings, and they are more common than endothermic reactions. Some examples of this are respiration, so breathing out, mixing of a strong acid with water, and burning a candle. When you burn a candle, it gives off heat, so we're actually able to put our hands close to it and feel the heat coming off from the flame. When we graph an exothermic reaction, it looks like this. See how it's different from an endothermic reaction? Remember, exo means out. So as the reaction proceeds, it gives off energy in the form of heat. The graph shows this because the products are less than the reactants. So as the reaction forms its products, heat is released into the surroundings. If we know that the surrounding temperature gets affected by the reaction, we can take a thermometer and measure the temperature change while the reaction is happening. If the temperature decreases, it's an endothermic reaction because the reaction draws in heat from its surroundings. But if the temperature increases, we know it will be an exothermic reaction because it gives off heat to the surroundings. The main thing to understand from this is that endothermic reactions absorb heat from their surroundings as the reaction takes place, and exothermic reactions release heat to their surroundings. So endo is in and exo is out. I've asked you to think of your own examples of an endothermic or exothermic reaction. Are you ready to share them with the class?